Hey everybody, this is Lux Capital, or Mike. This will be my first recording. I'm going to start with this, try this out before I do anything live. But that could be something I do down the road, I'm not sure yet. First I want to apologize for any sniffs or coughs or sneezes. I don't know why I'm feeling a little stuffy this morning, but it's pretty common in the mornings, and the seasons are changing pretty drastically here, so you may hear some sniffs and stuff. But nonetheless, opening up here at about 9 o'clock. This is the first opportunity that I have to be able to place a trade. My broker opens, or at least allows trading at 9, so here we are. Between here and 9:30, I'll probably fast forward through the price action until we get to 9:30, but we'll see if anything shows up. You can see on my charts I have a trade marked out that started forming at 8. It looks like it's being respected, and I'm tempted to take it. Of the 5 Mondays that I found this trade over 2.5 months worth of testings, it happened before 9:30. So I'm seeing if this will work. Mondays are pretty rare that a setup forms because it's just such a slow day. And right now it's still just bopping around. You don't like to see this. You want your trade to move. When it hit that breaker block, fair value gap, it should have moved away pretty quickly. So I'm thinking this one isn't going to turn out. My stop loss is also tighter than I normally do. I probably normally would put it up above this high just because that's more logical. The candle here, that first candle of the fair value gap, is pretty small, and there's a fair value gap right behind it, so I probably would have gone up here. I'll leave it here and just see if it pans out, but I didn't place this trade because it's not high probability enough for me. At this time, I'm pretty low on capital, so I just got from micros to minis on Friday, so I'm right at that line. Obviously losses are okay and they happen, but if I do take a loss or two, I'll be bumped back down to micros, and I'd really like that to not happen yet. Let me get like 1 or 2 more wins to get a little buffer going. So anyway, glad you guys are checking out the video. This will be, like I said, the first one. It's going to probably be a little rough around the edges, but we'll get there. So I'm just going to sit back, and it looks like this thing's starting to move a little bit in the right direction. So I'm going to watch it and just see if it pans out. Otherwise, I'll be back closer to 9:30 and we'll start really live tape reading. By now it'll be pretty obvious if I recorded the music separate from my vocals, in which case the music will have stayed normal and everything else will have fast forwarded. Otherwise, the music fast forwarded too, and that was probably not fun to listen to. So first video we'll learn. I haven't edited it yet, so I have no idea, but I'm just kind of preemptively stating we'll find out. But next time, if it did get messed up, I'll make sure to fix it so the music just kind of plays and then I can fast forward the rest, because nobody wants to sit here for a half hour watching nothing happen. But since I'm back, I marked out the rate of the rate of the highs that started this move, and then the market structure shift lower before it returned to the breaker block. So I marked those out so you can see how the trade was panning out in my mind. Anyway, it still looks like it's respecting the breaker block, but it is really just not going anywhere. I'm glad I didn't take it, because this is anxiety right here. You can see I only have it set for 2-to-1, but this is anxiety. You're just sitting here watching it literally go nowhere. I mean, yes, you're in profit, but it's not fast. It's not quick. I don't like to sit around and wait, hoping it goes. I want to just see it go. So anyway, back to the fast forwarding, and we'll be back around 9:30. All right, it looks like we're only 7 minutes until the 9:30 open. So as we were watching this here, it started coming back on us, and I was thinking maybe it's just gonna fill this little imbalance it left over, and then shoot down. We've only got 10 seconds left. If it closes above this fair value gap, not interested in this anymore. It still could pan out, but it seems like it's already a low probability setup. It went a decent amount. It probably would have been cool, I don't know, $150. But I don't like that it closed above a fair value gap after coming back. See, it took this liquidity right here and kept going up. So I don't like it. Not to say it still couldn't pan out, but seeing as 9:30 is right around the corner and it's trying to move itself back upwards, I would have closed it. To be honest, I probably would have closed it right here. So it went up a little bit. Retracements happen. Came back down, rejected pretty hard, and then opened a green candle. I would have closed it right there. So even with that said, my reward would have been $112. Not super fancy or anything, but I don't like this. I don't like the zigzag. It's not what the unicorn model should look like. It should just go. It should hit this breaker and fair value gap and take off. Rapid repricing is the way ICT put it. Rapid. This is not, and it's fine. It's before 9:30. Nobody's really in here yet. So these Monday setups kind of suck. Before 9:30 kind of sucks. But as I mentioned, of the times I've seen it happen before on a Monday, it's been before 9:30. So I thought, what the hell? Looks like it is coming back down. Left a big volume imbalance right at the fair value gap. If that's not algorithmic, I don't know what is. So it's moving down a little bit, but leaving a volume imbalance, it could come back for that. So this is only 5 handles. It's a 2.5 handle stop loss. This is only 5 handles, so the other, I guess, piece to a, look at that. Look at that. It's hitting something here. Look at this. Rejected pretty hard here, here, and here. The other piece to the Monday trades that I have, the Monday setups that I have found so far, 5 handles is about all you're going to want to do. In my testing, I did 5 handle stop, 5 handle TP, but but it rarely went more than 5 handles. I rarely got 10 or anything above 5. So we'll just kind of keep watching. 3 more minutes until open. That heavy rejection, it's going back up to that volume imbalance. That heavy rejection doesn't look good. I would have closed this a while ago. All right, we're seconds away now, so I'm going to say either this is going to shoot down to my TP and we would have been good, or it's going to shoot up to my stop loss and I would have been glad I closed it out. So it did make a swing low here. It hasn't made another swing high, which is ideal. You don't really want to see it make any extra swings. So let's picking up speed now. Let's see what happens to it. In the meantime, I'll be looking for the next setup to happen after 9:30. But yeah, look at that. There it goes. This is why I just usually don't enter before 9:30. You know, it goes kind of wild. You never know which way it's gonna go. The only reason this wick makes sense is if it's trying to catch people who've been short and trailing their stop loss too tight. They would have grabbed them and grabbed all their buy stops and took off. So looks like this would have panned out okay. You know, wish it. I don't want to speak quite too soon. We're just now taking this swing low, so it could whip back up again. But price really likes the new week opening gaps, which is what this is here. But I wish I would have taken it. It would have panned out okay. I still think I need more testing to feel confident in Monday setups. So I'm not upset that it wasn't a trade I took. But my plan so far is the testing I've done is from beginning of January this year to it'll be to the end of April of this year, and April sucked. So I'm interested to see how well the unicorn model worked out in April. I might even go up to current day, but a lot of that I've already reviewed in just seeing some recent price action to see if this was even plausible, you know. So keep in mind, I'm still super new at this, so anything I say here is just my knowledge so far. I bounced right off that new week opening gap here. I try not to talk like I know what I'm talking about, like I know everything, right? Because I don't. But I'm going to talk very confidently about the things that I do know. But I'll make speculations too, and I'll try to make that clear. So, anyways, yeah, I would want to do some more testing before I feel confident about Monday setups, especially before 9:30, because again, you never know which way it's going to want to go when 9:30 opens. I shouldn't say that. I don't have the experience or knowledge yet to confidently feel like I know where 9:30 is going to go. In the future, that might be possible. So I'm going to remove these drawings here and look for the next unicorn setup. So at this point, we're just kind of coming down. We did take out these lows, which could count as our rate of that liquidity. We'd want to see it break above here. Before even considering this would end up being a long situation. I don't know if we're long today. My initial outlook was short today, was bearish. Coming down to this daily fair value gap. which we did overnight, last night, but we really only tapped it, right? So I'm thinking at least halfway. Price likes that, or the whole thing. So we'll see how far down she goes. Put this back. I like to see $1 at a time. Sometimes 2, depending on how wild it is. But right now that would be too scrunched. So we'll go $1 at a time. Look at, see, halfway. Respects it perfectly. So if we see a shift here, then that would make this our breaker. So we'll see what happens with that. Looks like we got a volume imbalance there, so this will probably close bearish. Or fill it soon after. It doesn't leave those very long. Two of them in a row? I was seeing that earlier. Where did that happen? Yeah, I don't remember. Earlier price action I was looking at, it just kept leaving volume imbalances and like, this thing is not looking pretty. If you're enjoying the background music, this is music from my lo-fi channel that I run on Twitch. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, kind of like a lo-fi radio channel almost. So it plays lo-fi all the time. It's really nice and relaxing. I pretty much play it all day. So right now it's in my headphones as I'm doing this recording, but afterwards I'll put it on my speaker and play it around the house. So play it on my speaker as I do things around the house. We just hit affiliate on that channel, so there's a bunch of cool redeems and things like that, special things and commands and things that only subscribers can use and stuff like that. So it's a pretty cool channel. It's got really cool graphics and a fish tank. We have a fish tank, so the cameras are on the fish tank. You can watch the fish tank. You know, it's bubbles and fish swimming around, and it's just meditative. I like it. You can sit there and just kind of watch it, get into your head and think things through or clear the mind. If you're interested in checking it out, you can search on Twitch for Dark Earth Meditation. I'll leave a link in the description of the video as well, but I also put a link in the Discord, which is private. So if any of you who are not in the Discord are watching this, it's invite only. If you're somebody we select, then you'll see that, but private little group at this time. So anyway, price is going back to those volume imbalances. It's not really shooting up and trying to shift structure here. Coming off of that tiny little fair value gap right above the rate line. Hopefully the mic didn't pick up me swallowing my drink, but it very well could have. As far as my outlook, while we're just kind of watching this thing, as far as my outlook for what's supposed to happen today, in my opinion, let's go to the 1 hour. So what I was thinking yesterday was either we're going to, oh, this is still up here. We're going to either come down to this buy side inefficiency, sell side imbalance, come up to this buy side liquidity. Eventually through the week we'll grab that buy side liquidity, but it came down and tapped it and then started moving, but I think it's going to come down and actually hit it, or this double, is this a double new week opening gap from this week and third week in April. Either that's going to hold pretty firm and it'll shoot up from here, but I was thinking it's going to come down to here or come all the way down to here. Here, let me do this. I was looking at it right here, so it's either going to come down to magnet, come down to here and go up to here, and then come back down again. So a good power of 3. Opens here, trades a little lower, rallies up, makes the high of the week, and then closes a little bit lower than that. It's a power of 3. My other idea was just smooth coming all the way down to here, probably bounce off of this line. So we filled about half of that fair value gap, and it might dig a little into the breaker block and then take all this buy side liquidity and then kind of close a little lower than that. Who knows how high it's gonna, a little lower than the peak, not a little lower than the buy side. I don't remember what this line is, so I'm gonna have to go check that out, but oh, more buy side. No. There we go. Yeah, I guess it could even come as high as here. And then it'll just close lower than the peak. We saw that last Friday where it just rallied like crazy on Friday and then hit a peak at about 3-ish, 3:30-ish, and then just kind of went, lost its steam and just kind of fell. So that's pretty typical, but so yeah, it's going to do something like that. That's my thoughts. It's about to break through this gap to the downside, so we'll see what happens. But today's tough. I think it's going to come down to at least this new week opening gap imbalance combination. New week opening gap and a fair value gap combination. So we'll see. I'm gonna go back to the 1 minute, and we'll take a few more minutes to watch what's going on. But it's just kind of skipping down, leaving these volume imbalances. It already filled the other two. It just came off of this fair value gap. Did not want to go up here, so we'll get rid of that. This is not going to pan out. We've got a new low being taken, so that could be something. I don't like wick formations in the setup for the unicorn, but we could look at it in reverse even, and if that was the raid, that would make that the shift. Actually, look at that. That would have panned out. So let's see. Oh, I've got my labels backwards. That's why I'm getting confused. Change that to the shift. Change that to the raid. That makes the last down candle that made the shift our breaker. And there's a nice imbalance right there. Boom. Beautiful unicorn setup. Obviously, still pretty new in recognizing it. And I don't like this. It's a lower probability setup. You want to see a body close and actually take that. But when it comes to rating liquidity, it often moves so quickly, like bam, bam, gotcha, that you just see a wick. So wicks on the raids, I would say, are more common, but you don't want to see wicks on the market structure shift. You want that to be decisive. Like, we are going this direction now. And that's what we see here. So I like to place my entry where they both overlap first, which is at the start of this fair value gap, which is already within the breaker block. We'll set it to 10 because it seems to hit 10 handles very often. We'll go to the high. It's a very logical place. It already took liquidity here, so if it's going to go again, it's probably going to continue going that way, right? So there's our entry. There's our... It would have been really nice. We've already crossed this new week opening gap, and we've moved past. We've got to break a structure here. So the fact that we are that far along in the trade, I would have moved my stop to break even at probably a little bit above break even. And let the rest ride out. If I had more than one contract, I would have taken at least a contract off as it broke this structure and traded below the new week opening gap. There's a good chance this new week opening gap is going to serve as resistance now. If it comes back up far enough to fill this imbalance, it'll bounce off the new week opening gap. So already this morning, we could have had those first 5 handles, and we're in our second possible option. Again, I'm still new at recognizing these setups and missed this one. It was like right within, they're like overlapping, unicorn models. So But this is more what you want to see. This, I would say, is way more legitimate than the other one, which I don't really even remember where it is now, but it wasn't moving away decisively and quickly. As soon as it, tapped in here a couple times, like, are we sure we know what we're doing? Then boom, it just moves. 1, 2, 3, 4. By 5 minutes in, you're already breaking other structure. You're already halfway done, 5-handle move. So you want to see that quickness. Why did it retrace here? Probably because it just took this low. Took several of these overnight liquidity points, so retraced a little bit because it's picking up those sell stops. It's going to act as fuel to go the other direction, but it's not what the algorithm wants to do right now. Literally to the tick, bounced off of this daily fair value gap. Look at that. But I'm going to draw in this gap. So you can see we tapped into that and kept going. We're forming another one, but I want to see it bust through this. My spreads wouldn't have tapped me out. I probably would have closed it right there manually, but I'm sure we'll come back down and grab it. Actually, let's see if I move my stop out of the way. So it did tap to the tick. I think I have a 1/4 point spread, so it would have been here. Yeah, there's a good chance I would have just closed that. Nine and 3/4 handle. 9 3/4 handles is plenty enough. It doesn't have to hit your take profit. Don't what is ICT? Oh, look at that bounce again. Well, ICT says just because you come up with an idea or a setup, don't marry yourself to it. Things change, you need to adapt. How foolish would it have been? Just hypothetically, it comes down literally to the tick on your line. Your spreads would not have cashed you out here. And it goes whoop all the way back up, hits your stop. You would have been furious, right? So like, I'm within a 1/2 point here, I'm closing it. It's sweet to see it just bust through that take profit. You know what I mean? I love watching that happen. But I'll just call it smart traders will protect your capital first, take profit second. And in my opinion, this would have been protecting my capital. Hopefully it comes down here. We'll see in a few minutes and bust right through it. But this would, I should have, like I said, I should have taken this. I wish I would have seen it. We were already halfway done by the time I did. We had to break the structure before I even saw it. So learning experience, live tape reading is invaluable. So I am happy it was seen. I will learn from it, screenshot it, study it. We'll just kind of watch it here now and just see what happens. if you haven't closed your trade already on this, now would be the chance. I don't think it's going to want to move any lower than that. That looks like it's done. Now it's just chopping. So this would have been the end of my day. And, ideally, had I followed my gut on the first one, I'd have 5. And with experience and recognizing these setups, the more you do it, the more you practice it, the quicker you'll see it. So backtest it a lot until, you just want to get better at seeing the liquidity swipe that direction, the liquidity swipe the other direction, and where the breaker blocks form. So practice, and one day, we'll be able to catch a setup like that. So getting pretty good, I think, myself, but this is the first day that I've been trading the unicorn live. So I'm not surprised I, missed something live, but I'm catching them pretty good in back testing. So I'll just keep hammering away at it, keep practicing, and eventually we will get there. So I think that's it for this video. Typically on any given day, like I keep saying, so far in my testing, Mondays have been the worst as far as producing these setups, to the point where I would consider not even trading on Monday if I trade this model. It did show up here today. Out of the 65 days that I've traded, it's only shown up 5 times on a Monday. All the other times it has shown up on the other weekdays. So Monday's not very common. Some days like Friday, it's 10, 15 times total so far. So there's just different days that are way more higher probability. Monday's not one of them. So I think that's it here. I would have been done for the day on any given day. So we'll end it here, but I'm going to continue watching the charts and see if I can find anything worth trading today, or if Monday is just a tape reading day for me, a learning day, and we'll leave it at that. So thanks for checking out the video. Hopefully everything, sounded okay, and we'll, if not, we'll work on that and make things sound better for the next one. So anyway, have a good rest of the day, and see you next time.